Good afternoon and welcome to the St. Clair County EMA COVID-19 Daily Briefing. Joined here today with Chairman Mark Kern and Samantha Bierman from the Health Department. And Sam, you've got today's updated numbers.
I do, and today's numbers are very encouraging in some categories, and in some categories we've had some increases. As of today, 13,650 St. Clair County residents have been tested for COVID-19, with 1,816 positive test results, which is an increase of 17 from yesterday. And that does include both males and females from their teens up to their 60s. We are at 11,822 negative test results, with 12 results that are still pending. Unfortunately, we have 3 new additional deaths that we will be adding to St. Clair County's totals, which brings our number up to 135. The first was a male in his 70s, and then we had 2 females in their 80s, all with underlying health conditions. And as always, our sympathies go out to their families. For those who have completed the required IDPH 14-day quarantine period, we're at 1,355. For state totals, we are at 1,379,003 that have been tested, with 137,224 positive test results, which is an increase of 462 from yesterday. And the last time we saw a number that low was back on March 30th, and that was for 461. So very encouraging number that across the state we had very low numbers today. For the state death totals, we are at 6,671, which is an increase of 24 from yesterday. Our hospitalization numbers are really good today. We are at 34 that are admitted due to COVID-related reasons for hospitals that are in St. Clair County, and 3 of those patients are on ventilators. For congregate living facilities that are in outbreak status, and that is 2 or more staff or residents that are either COVID positive or who have COVID-like symptoms, Atrium of Belleville has 2 cases and no deaths. Brea of Belleville has 51 cases and 6 deaths. Brea of Cahokia has 25 cases and 2 deaths. Caritas Family Solutions of Belleville has 12 cases and no deaths. Caseyville Nursing and Rehab has 4 cases and no deaths. Cedarhurst of Shiloh has 13 cases and no deaths. Cedar Ridge of Lebanon has 71 cases and 10 deaths. Colonnade Senior Living in O'Fallon has 5 cases and no deaths. Four Fountains in Belleville has 104 cases and 27 deaths. Help at Home in Belleville has 2 cases and no deaths. Help at Home in O'Fallon currently has 5 cases and no deaths. Knollwood Retirement Center in Caseyville has 8 cases and 1 death. Lebanon Care Center has 55 cases and 10 deaths. Memorial Care Center in Belleville has 44 cases and 5 deaths. Mercy Rehab and Care in Swansea has 2 cases and no deaths. New Athens Home for the Aged has 57 cases and 7 deaths. St. Paul's Home in Belleville has 45 cases and 14 deaths. Swansea Rehab and Care Center has 29 cases and 6 deaths. And finally, TDL Incorporated in Belleville has 4 cases and no deaths. And now I will turn it over to Chairman Kern for his update.
Thank you, Sam. So as we know, or we've been all following this, 23 of our zip codes have 5 or more cases of COVID recorded so far. And that's at the point that you are above 5, that's where we start reporting zip codes. But with our numbers decreasing, today we only have 3 zip codes that have increases. And so rather than read all of the zip codes as we do every day, let's just read the ones that have an increase today. And that will expedite matters. The rest are all posted, and we continue to post every day. But the 3 zip codes that increased today are 62201 goes up by 3 to 75. 62221 goes up by 1 to 152. And 62269 goes up by 2 to 95. So that's pretty good that only 3 zip codes have increased, but we want to make the point that we can't take our foot off the accelerator. We're headed to reopening with phase 4, and Brian's going to talk about that guidance that we've gotten, many pages of guidance that we get from Illinois Department of Public Health. But the one thing that's very clear is that masks work. And if both parties are wearing the mask, the chances of transmission are very, very low, and so we would encourage everyone to be out there to wear masks when you go out in public, continue to do the social distancing. Let's keep our numbers low. Let's not follow the lead of Arizona and Florida, where now they're having to see big spikes and change and go back on the phases that they had. Let's just continue to move forward, and that's a pretty simple thing to do. Wearing a mask and just following the simple guidance of washing your hands and social distancing, I think is a positive way to move forward. Another positive way to move forward is with our friend Herb Simmons. Herb came in today to work. He was here and active and took a lot of calls, did a lot of hard work here in the office, but right now he's working partial days, and we encourage that so that he fully recovers and we get him back here full time, and then we make him work double time and triple time after that. So, Brian?
Thank you, Chairman. As the Chairman mentioned today, the Phase 4 revitalization guidelines were issued by the State of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. We posted those on the county EMA page for all the various industries, everything from restaurants with indoor dining. It will now be approved with some restrictions in Phase 4. Theaters reopening, changes to indoor and outdoor recreation, some modifications to youth and recreational sports to allow now not just practices but also some of the competitive events. And then again, many other modifications as it relates to meetings, social gatherings, day camps. Just a lot of guidance. You can go to the St. Clair County EMA page, find all the guidance that we've posted there, or visit the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and they have all the various guidelines there for all the different business industries. There is very little that will still remain closed after this Friday, June 26th. We've had a couple questions about swimming pools and the guidance on those. We have been told Illinois Department of Public Health will be coming out in the next day or so with updated guidance for Phase 4 for swimming pools, community splash pads, etc. We'll definitely bring those to you just as soon as we receive them. And also lots of questions about schools, as we had Susan Sarfati on here on Sunday, and she mentioned there are many plans being worked out now for in-person learning, for at-home learning, and also for a hybrid format of both. So we're still waiting for that final guidance, but there's a little bit of time left to make all that happen. We had a conference call today with some of our local legislators, had various conversations about mobile testing. We've brought you information that mobile testing starts this week on Wednesday in Marissa and Smithton, and then on Thursday in Mascoutah. And the chairman and the health department are working to set up schedules for other communities throughout St. Clair County. It's not just a process that's going to happen this week. That's going to go on for several weeks here now and move that process all throughout St. Clair County.
And continue to visit our page, which will detail where the mobile testing is, and it also details these Phase 4 guidelines in a simple to view fashion. It's a good way to keep up with COVID. Look at the page and follow the links that we offer.
Absolutely. We thank everyone for following us and getting the information. We try and bring it to you as quick as we receive it. We share that information with the local mayors, the police chiefs, fire chiefs, EMS directors, so everyone's on the same page. We all want to be a part of Team St. Clair and make sure that as a county, as a region, and ultimately as a state, we all continue to move in the right direction. So we thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with Cindy and Daisy here in a few minutes with our translation for our Spanish-speaking communities, and we'll be back with you tomorrow at approximately 3:30 with the next daily briefing. Thank you.